Stop trying to impress her. Start being the man she can't ignore. Let's be real, folks. Most men go on dates like they're auditioning, over-explaining, oversharing, buying approval with jokes and attention. You talk faster, laugh harder, and wonder why the spark keeps dying. It dies because performance is need in disguise. The more you try to win her, the more you tell her she's above you. That kills polarity. I'm here to wake you up, not to coddle you. The fix isn't another line or trick. It's presence, quiet, grounded, unbothered. When you stop chasing impressions and start living your standards, women feel it. Your stillness becomes signal. Your boundaries become gravity. Your mission speaks louder than your charm. In this video, I'll show you how to switch frames from proving yourself to choosing yourself. We'll cut the habits that leak neediness, build a calm tone that commands respect, and use stoic discipline to keep your emotions under your control. You'll learn when to speak, when to pause, and when to walk away without a speech. If you're tired of performing and ready to be the prize, stay with me. Because once you see how attraction actually works, you won't waste another minute trying to impress anyone. You'll make them qualify to you. Tonight we trade noise for power, effort for ease, chasing for choosing. Let's get into it. Number 1. Stop performing, start being. Here's the harsh truth. Most men never want to admit, when you're with a woman and every move you make is designed to impress her, you've already lost. The moment your mind switches from being to performing, you step out of your masculine center and into her frame. You become the man who waits for approval instead of the man who creates desire. Let's say you're on a date. You're trying to keep the energy fun, throwing out jokes, filling every silence with words, asking if she's comfortable. That's Jake, 29, from Chicago, a guy who means well but talks too much trying to make her like him. And across the table, Sarah, 27. She laughs, but not because she's captivated. It's polite laughter, the kind you give when you know someone's trying too hard. What Jake doesn't realize is that his energy says, I need you to like me. And nothing kills attraction faster than need. Now imagine another version of Jake. He leans back, calm, breathing slowly. He's not chasing moments. He's creating them through silence, through comfort in his own presence. When Sarah speaks, he listens. When he talks, it's because he has something to say, not something to prove. That's when she starts leaning in. Not because he's loud, but because he's anchored. The Stoics would call this euthymia, the state of inner calm, of walking your own path without needing validation. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." Freedom in this case is freedom from the need to impress. Because when you stop performing, you stop selling yourself short. Most men think attraction is built through doing, but women feel it through being. Presence, certainty, emotional stillness. These are what make her heartbeat pick up, not your witty stories or rehearsed compliments. She's not drawn to the show, she's drawn to the quiet confidence behind it. So here's the shift: stop treating connection like a test you have to pass. Start living it as an experience you allow to unfold. If you like her, show it through clarity, not compliance. Speak less, hold stronger eye contact, breathe deeper. When she talks, don't rush to respond, pause, let her feel the weight of your silence, because in that space she senses your strength. Women are emotional barometers. They don't just hear your words, they feel your energy. And that's why trying too hard backfires. She doesn't want to see a man trying to be confident. She wants to feel a man who already is. So next time you're with her, remember this: she doesn't fall for performance. She falls for presence. And presence doesn't shout, it radiates. Now I want to hear from you if you're done performing and ready to be the man she feels, not the one she evaluates. Drop this in the comments, I am grounded. And don't go anywhere. Because in the next part we're breaking down the real secret behind magnetic stillness and why the less you do, the more she chases. Stay sharp. Number 2. The power of stillness. You've probably heard that women are attracted to confidence, but what most men don't realize is that confidence isn't loud, it's quiet. It doesn't chase attention, it commands it. That's the power of stillness. It's what separates a man who needs to be noticed from the man who naturally is. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about mastering the space between action and reaction. Most men can't handle silence. They fill it with noise because silence exposes them. But here's the thing, women feel that lack of control instantly. When you can't sit in your own stillness, you're telling her subconsciously that your emotions own you. A Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This is the essence of stillness. It's not passive, it's dominance over self. When your world shakes, you stay centered. When she tests you, you don't flinch. That's when she feels your depth, the kind of energy that pulls her in without effort. Think about it. Every truly magnetic man you've ever seen, whether it's a leader, a fighter, or even a quiet stranger in a room, they all share one thing: composure. They don't rush to speak, they don't react to chaos. Their calm creates order. And that stillness doesn't just attract women, it commands respect from everyone around them. Most guys think attraction comes from saying the right words or showing the right moves. But it's not about what you do, it's how you are. When you can stand still, breathe slow, and meet her gaze without nervous laughter, you communicate something powerful. I am not moved easily. That's not arrogance, that's inner stability. Here's the paradox: the less you do, the more she feels. The quieter your energy, the louder your presence. When you don't rush to fill every silence, she begins to wonder what's behind it. Her curiosity becomes desire. Stillness leaves space for imagination, and imagination is where attraction grows. Stoicism teaches emotional detachment, not as coldness but as control. You are not denying emotion, you're mastering it. When you stay composed during tension, when you respond instead of react, you show her that her beauty doesn't dictate your behavior. You are the calm in the storm, and every woman deep down wants to feel safe in that calm. So next time you feel the urge to prove yourself, to talk faster, to impress, to over-explain, pause, breathe. Let your energy speak before your mouth does. That's when your presence becomes magnetic. That's when she feels your masculine gravity. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Remember that. Stillness isn't the absence of movement, it's the mastery of it. It's knowing that your silence has weight and your calm has power. Now, if you're ready to embody that kind of energy, the kind that makes her lean in, instead of you chasing her, I want you to drop this in the comments: "I move with calm." Stay tuned, because in the next part we're going deeper into how emotional control turns silence into seduction, and why most men never reach that level of power. Number 3. Be the prize, not the pursuer. Here's the truth. Most men hate to face the moment you start chasing. You've already placed her above you. And women can sense that imbalance immediately. The energy shifts. You go from being the man she's curious about to the man she controls. Let's take an example. Michael, 31, lives in Austin. He's been seeing a woman named Jenna, 28. She's beautiful, confident, and knows she has options. At first, Michael played it cool. He texted occasionally, didn't overthink things, and was focused on his work and fitness. Jenna felt his presence without needing constant attention. But then something changed. He started thinking too much about her, how often she replied, what her messages meant when she'd want to meet again. Slowly, his energy went from grounded to needy. His texts got longer, his tone softer, and his questions more frequent. And just like that, Jenna's interest dropped. Why? Because Michael went from being the prize, calm-centered and self-assured, to being the pursuer. And women don't chase what's already chasing them. Being the prize doesn't mean arrogance. It means knowing your value so deeply that you never have to prove it. You understand that your time, your focus, your attention, those are the real gifts. When you give them freely to everyone, they lose meaning. But when you make a woman earn your attention through connection and consistency, it becomes powerful. Stoic wisdom captures this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's it. Stop trying to convince her of your worth. Embody it. When you act from purpose, when your energy says, 'I know who I am,' she feels that. You stop needing to chase because you are what she wants to find." This is where emotional restraint becomes magnetic. You're not withholding affection as a trick, you're simply not desperate to give it away. You have direction, you have a life. Women are drawn to men whose worlds don't revolve around them. They want to enter your story, not become your story. The key difference between the prize and the pursuer is internal certainty. The pursuer asks, "Does she like me?" The prize asks, "Is she even worthy of my energy?" That shift in mindset changes everything. You go from reacting to leading, from hoping to choosing. So when she pulls back, you don't panic. You stay centered. You trust your presence more than her attention, because attention is temporary, but attraction built on respect lasts. Remember, desire isn't built through pursuit, it's built through polarity. When she feels your confidence and senses that you're not moved by her every move, she starts to chase your calm. So here's the question you should ask yourself today. Are you living like the prize or performing like the pursuer? If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, I want you to drop this in the comments. I am the prize. And don't go anywhere, because in the next part, we're going to talk about how to build the kind of emotional gravity that makes women invest in you without you saying a word. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. Number 4. Emotional detachment is magnetic. Here's the paradox of attraction. Most men never understand the less emotionally reactive you are, the more emotionally attractive you become. It's not about being cold or heartless, it's about being in control. Because when a man can remain calm, centered and grounded, while others are ruled by emotion, he becomes rare, and rarity is irresistible. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop depending. You're no longer attached to outcomes, whether she texts back, laughs at your jokes, or decides to walk away. You don't chase control over her, you master control over yourself. And that self-mastery is exactly what women crave, even if they can't explain it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When you truly live by that, you move differently. You're not trying to manipulate a woman's emotions. You're simply centered in your own. She can test you, pull away, act distant, and instead of reacting, you stay still. You observe. You respond with clarity, not chaos. That's when she feels something powerful, stability. Because most men crumble at the first sign of disinterest. They double-text, over-explain, chase validation. But the emotionally detached man doesn't play that game. His peace isn't negotiable. And that's exactly why she finds herself drawn to him. He's not fighting for her attention, he's radiating strength through composure. In relationships, women often create emotional turbulence to measure your depth. Not consciously, but instinctively. When you stay calm in the storm, it tells her your foundation is solid. You can handle her emotion without being consumed by it. That's the ultimate signal of masculine energy, calm under pressure. The Stoics believed in living with apatheia, not apathy, but a deep emotional equilibrium. It's the state of being unmoved by external chaos while remaining fully engaged with life. You listen, you feel, you care, but you don't collapse. That's magnetic. Because while most men chase highs and panic at lows, you remain constant. You're not escaping emotion, you're transcending it. Here's the truth. Emotional detachment doesn't make you less human. it makes you more powerful. Because only when you stop reacting can you choose how to respond. That control creates a quiet authority, one that can't be faked. It's what makes a woman feel like she can trust you, even when she doesn't understand why. So when she throws tests or drama or silence your way, don't meet chaos with chaos, meet it with calm. That's the moment she realizes you're not like the others. You're not trying to win her over. You're letting her feel your peace. And that's what she'll chase, the emotional gravity of a man who doesn't need her to be centered. If you've ever wanted to learn how to build that kind of inner control, not just in dating but in every part of your life, I want to invite you to join our private membership community. Inside, we go deeper into Stoic psychology, masculine discipline, and emotional power. Everything you need to evolve into a man who attracts without effort. Now, if you're ready to embody that kind of strength, I want you to comment below, "I control me." And stay close, because next we're diving into a principle that turns emotional restraint into pure attraction. It's subtle, but it changes everything. Number 5. Lead the frame, don't enter hers. Every interaction between a man and a woman is a dance of energy. But here's what most men don't realize. One of you is always leading, and the other is following. The problem: most men unknowingly step into her frame instead of holding their own. And when you do that, you give up the silent power that creates attraction. Let me paint you a picture. Ryan, 29, from Denver, recently started dating a woman named Olivia, 26. She's playful, confident, and constantly tests boundaries. When they first met, Ryan was cool, he had direction, purpose, and wasn't easily swayed. But as Olivia started teasing him, canceling plans last minute and subtly controlling when they'd meet, he started adjusting himself around her. He began replying faster, rearranging his schedule, and even apologizing when he didn't need to. And that's when everything changed. She lost respect for him. Because here's the truth: when you enter her frame, you stop being the grounded man she was initially drawn to. The more you follow her energy, the less she feels your leadership. Women test you not because they want to dominate, but because they want to feel your steadiness. They want to know you won't bend every time their mood shifts. In Stoic philosophy, there's a powerful idea from Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The same principle applies here. You can't control what she does, the teasing, the silence, the emotional games, but you can control the frame you respond from. When your world remains stable, when your tone doesn't shift, when you don't chase her validation, you're leading. Leading the frame doesn't mean being controlling or rigid. It means setting the emotional tone of the interaction. If she's chaotic, you stay composed. If she's playful, you match it but never lose yourself in it. The masculine frame is like gravity, steady, grounding, immovable. The feminine frame is fluid, emotional, ever-changing. When you hold your frame, her chaos finds rhythm around your calm. You see, leadership in attraction isn't about dominance, it's about direction. A woman doesn't want a man who obeys her moods. She wants a man who gives her something to surrender to. When you walk into a room, she should feel that your energy shapes the space, not the other way around. That's the difference between being reactive and being in control. The modern problem is that men are taught to please, to adapt, to constantly check if they're doing it right. But that mindset kills polarity. Attraction dies when a man seeks comfort instead of control. Real masculine energy thrives in tension. And the man who holds his frame doesn't avoid that tension, he leads through it. Ryan learned this the hard way. After stepping back into his purpose, going to the gym, focusing on his career, and not waiting around for her responses, Olivia reappeared. Why? Because his energy shifted. He stopped orbiting her and became the center of his own world again. That's what magnetized her back. So remember this: she's not testing your limits to break you, she's testing your strength to feel you. Hold your ground, lead the rhythm, and you'll see how her energy naturally follows yours. If you're ready to be that man, the one who sets the tone, not reacts to it, I want you to comment below. I lead the frame. And don't go anywhere, because next we'll explore the one thing that takes this power even deeper, the moment you learn to own silence like a weapon. Number 6. Mission over validation. One of the biggest traps modern men fall into is this. They make her the mission. Every text, every plan, every thought starts revolving around one thing: how to make her like them. And that's the exact moment attraction dies. Because the second you need validation, you lose masculine gravity. Women don't fall for the man who's obsessed with them. They fall for the man who's obsessed with something bigger than them. A man with direction, with purpose, with a mission that fuels him. That's the kind of man she respects, desires, and ultimately trusts. Here's the thing, when your life is built around seeking a woman's approval, you give her power over your sense of worth. Every time she doesn't reply or doesn't react the way you want, you spiral. Your mood depends on her attention. But when your energy is anchored in something higher, your goals, your vision, your craft, no woman can shake your balance. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology ever caught up. Seneca wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." When your energy is scattered, chasing women, chasing validation, chasing approval, you lose presence and with it power. But when your mind is focused on your mission, you radiate certainty. You become a man who doesn't need to impress, because your life itself is impressive. A man living with purpose has a different kind of silence, a confident stillness that says, "I'm building something." He's not ignoring her to play games. He's simply not available for distractions. That energy is intoxicating to women, because while every other man is bending for attention, he's standing firm in purpose. Here's the paradox: when a woman feels that your world doesn't revolve around her, that's when she starts wanting to be part of it. When she realizes your attention isn't free, it becomes valuable. She begins to earn it, not expect it. This is what psychologists call selective investment. People value what requires effort to attain. And that's why the man with a mission always wins. Because he's not chasing love, he's attracting respect. His passion, his discipline, his focus, those are the things that make her want to join him. Not because she completes him, but because she admires the completeness he already has. But here's where most men mess up. They confuse validation with connection. They think, if she praises me, I'm doing well. No, validation is external, connection is internal. Validation fades when she stops feeding it. Connection grows when your purpose feeds you. The Stoics would call this living according to nature, acting in alignment with your highest values, not the fleeting opinions of others. So ask yourself this: what drives you? Is it her response or your mission? Because the man who lives for her approval becomes her follower. The man who lives for his mission becomes her inspiration. And when she sees that, when she feels that your ambition burns brighter than your need for attention, she doesn't just want you, she respects you. And respect is the seed of attraction that never dies. If you're ready to live with that kind of focus, to put purpose before validation, I want you to write this in the comments. I choose my mission. And stick around, because next we're going to uncover a principle that separates weak men from those who silently dominate any interaction. It's not about what you say, it's about what you withhold. Number 7. The calm that dominates. There's a certain kind of man that walks into a room and instantly changes the atmosphere. Not because he's loud, not because he's flashy, but because he's calm. His energy says, "I'm in control." That kind of calm is magnetic. It's the calm that dominates. Let's take an example. Ethan, 32, from Seattle, is sitting across from Jessica, 29, on their second date. The conversation flows easily until she tries to test his composure. She brings up another guy she's kind of talking to just to see how he reacts. Most men would flinch, overcompensate, or crack a joke to hide their insecurity. But Ethan doesn't bite. He smiles slightly, takes a sip of his drink and simply says, "That's interesting." Then he changes the subject. Jessica feels something shift. That calm, controlled reaction makes her wonder, why isn't he affected? And that's exactly what pulls her in deeper, because emotional restraint signals strength. You see, women are biologically tuned to test men's emotional stability. They want to feel your confidence, not just hear about it. If your mood changes with every word she says, she'll sense that your power is external, fragile. But if your energy stays grounded, she'll feel safe and intrigued. That's what dominance truly is. Not aggression, not control, but emotional sovereignty. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology did. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Calm isn't the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. And that mastery radiates authority without needing to demand it. Think about it. Chaos submits to calm. When she raises her voice and you keep yours steady, you win. When she gets emotional and you remain composed, she leans in. That calm presence doesn't just attract, it commands respect. Because while others are reactive, you're deliberate. And that difference makes all the noise fade when you speak. Ethan learned that his silence carried more power than his words. The moment he stopped reacting, the dynamic shifted. Jessica started seeking his validation instead of the other way around. That's how calm becomes dominance. Most men believe dominance is about being assertive, loud, or intimidating. But the truth is, dominance is subtle. It's in your breathing, your tone, your ability to hold eye contact without trying to prove anything. It's in how slowly you move, how patiently you listen, how unshaken you remain. Women feel that kind of power. It seeps through every pause, every glance, every controlled gesture. And here's the secret: calm energy doesn't just affect her, it affects you. The more composed you are, the more clearly you think. You stop making decisions out of fear and start acting from awareness. You begin to lead not just her emotions, but your entire life. That's where true masculine power lives. When you embody that calm, you become the still point in her storm. And that's something she'll never forget, because it's so rare in a world of noise, distraction, and insecurity. So if you want to build that kind of presence, the calm that dominates, start by slowing down. Control your tone, your pace, your reactions. Don't try to prove your strength, be it. If you're ready to step into that kind of unshakable energy, write in the comments, "I am calm power." And stay tuned, because what comes next will show you how this calm energy transforms into something even deeper. Something she feels before you ever say a word. Number 8. The masculine mystery. Here's something most men don't realize. Women aren't drawn to what they fully understand. They're drawn to what they can't quite figure out. Mystery, when it's authentic, is one of the most powerful masculine traits a man can embody. It's not about playing games or being secretive for attention. It's about living in such a way that your depth can't be easily defined. In today's world, most men overshare. They reveal everything, their emotions, their struggles, their intentions, before a woman has even earned access to their inner world. They give her the entire map and then wonder why she loses interest. But mystery keeps her curious. It's the unknown that keeps desire alive. Think of it like this: when a man reveals everything, the interaction becomes predictable. And predictability kills attraction. But when you show just enough, when your words, your silence, and your energy suggest there's more beneath the surface, that's when she leans in. That's when her imagination starts doing the work for you. The Stoics understood this concept, though they framed it differently. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The mystery of the Stoic man lies in his action, not his explanation. He doesn't need to prove himself with words. His presence, his discipline, and his focus speak for him. That's the essence of masculine mystery. You see, when you're calm, composed, and purpose-driven, people, especially women, can feel that something powerful is moving beneath the surface. It's the kind of quiet intensity that says, "There's more to me than you can see right now." That's what captivates her. Not your stories, not your compliments, but your restraint. And restraint is key here. Because mystery isn't about pretending to be complicated. It's about choosing not to reveal everything. It's the subtle pauses before you answer a question, the way you hold eye contact without explaining your thoughts, the way you let silence hang, not awkwardly but confidently. It makes her wonder what's happening behind that composed expression. In relationships, this mystery translates to polarity. The masculine mystery invites the feminine to feel, to imagine, to chase understanding. It awakens her curiosity and her attraction at the same time. You don't tell her how you feel in every moment, you let her sense it. You don't text her constantly, you let her miss your presence. You don't explain your purpose, you live it, and she feels it through your energy. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's the Stoic man's approach to mystery. He doesn't seek approval, he doesn't rush to be understood. He's content with being underestimated because he knows his strength doesn't need validation. In the end, the masculine mystery isn't about deception, it's about depth. It's about becoming the kind of man whose energy lingers in a woman's mind long after you've left the room. The man who can hold space for silence, who acts with purpose, but speaks with intention that man becomes unforgettable. Because the truth is, women don't crave the man who gives them everything. They crave the man who leaves them wanting more. If you understand this, if you're ready to embody that quiet, powerful mystery, then write this in the comments. I am the mystery. And stay close, because next we'll dive into the one trait that makes this energy irresistible. It's what turns presence into power and power into attraction. Number 9. Walk away without a word. There's a moment every man faces when she starts pulling away, testing your emotions or creating drama to see how much control she has over you. Most men panic. They explain, argue, plead, or chase, trying to fix the situation. But the man who truly understands his value knows when to do something far more powerful: walk away without a word. Let's make it real. Ryan, 28, had been dating Emma, 26, for a few months. Things were going well until she started giving him mixed signals, cancelling plans, taking longer to reply, flirting a bit too openly when they were out with friends. Most guys in Ryan's position would react emotionally. They'd confront her, ask questions, or try to win her back with more attention. But Ryan didn't. He didn't text paragraphs or demand answers. He simply became still. He withdrew his attention calmly, silently, and focused on his life. Days later, Emma reached out first. Why? Because Ryan's silence spoke louder than any speech could. It wasn't passive aggression, it was power. A man who can walk away without explanation radiates self-respect. You see, women are wired to test a man's emotional center. Not to be cruel, but to feel his strength. They want to know if your sense of worth collapses when they withhold affection. Most men fail this test because they try to reason or convince. But the truth is, attraction thrives in space, not explanation. The Stoics mastered this. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you walk away in silence, you're not trying to manipulate her, you're mastering yourself. You're showing that you're not driven by impulse, but by principle. You choose peace over chaos. This kind of silence is not cold, it's composed. It's not punishment, it's boundary. And boundaries are what make women respect you. Because when you can remove your presence instead of begging for her attention, you remind her of your value. You show her that your energy is a privilege, not a default. The beauty of this, it always flips the dynamic. When you withdraw with calm confidence, you create a psychological vacuum, and human nature hates a vacuum. She begins to question what she lost, replaying moments in her mind, wondering why you're not chasing her like everyone else. And that curiosity turns into attraction. Ryan learned that walking away wasn't about ending something, it was about resetting the balance. By stepping back, he reclaimed his frame. He made her realize that his presence wasn't guaranteed, and that realization made her value it. Here's the deeper truth. A man who can leave silently doesn't do it because he's indifferent. He does it because he's in control. He knows that love, attention, and respect can't be demanded, they must be earned. And the only way to earn them is to show that you don't depend on them. If she's meant to return, she will. And if she doesn't, you've just made space for something better. Either way, you win. So the next time a woman tests your composure, remember this: the loudest thing a man can say is nothing at all. If you're the kind of man who chooses silence over desperation, confidence over chaos, type this in the comments: I walk with power. And stay tuned, because what comes next reveals the final piece of this puzzle. The mindset that makes her not only miss you, but remember you forever. Number 10. Become the standard. Let's get something straight. You don't attract what you chase, you attract what you are. Every man out there wants to be chosen, admired, desired. But very few ever become the kind of man who makes that inevitable. And that's what it means to become the standard, to live in a way that raises the bar for how others treat you, how women see you, and how you see yourself. Most men try to impress women by adapting to what they think she wants, dressing how she likes, talking how she likes, even changing their interests to fit in. But here's the truth, my friend. Every time you bend yourself to meet her standards, you're showing her that she sets them. The moment you do that, you've already lost frame. Becoming the standard flips that dynamic. It means you define what's valuable. You decide what's acceptable. You lead not by demand, but by example. Because when you hold yourself to a higher code in how you talk, how you move, how you handle challenges, people can feel it. You stop needing validation, and that's exactly what makes you magnetic. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That's Stoicism at its core, the practice of living your values so deeply that you never have to announce them. The standard doesn't chase, it inspires. It's not arrogance, it's presence. Let me paint this for you. A man who's the standard doesn't need to tell a woman he's confident, she can feel it in his silence. He doesn't brag about being loyal, she learns it through his consistency. He doesn't ask for respect, his discipline demands it. Every part of his life reinforces one message: this is who I am, take it or leave it. And that kind of energy, it's intoxicating. Because women aren't drawn to perfection, they're drawn to men who don't compromise themselves to be liked. Here's the paradox: when you stop chasing approval, you become the man who earns it naturally. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start attracting those who align with your truth. That's what becoming the standard really means: mastering your internal world so completely that the external world follows your lead. Now, this doesn't mean being emotionless or aloof. The standard doesn't hide from connection, he just doesn't need it to define him. He can walk away when something no longer aligns with his principles, not out of ego, but out of clarity. That's emotional sovereignty, and that's what the Stoics called freedom. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Becoming the standard starts right there in self-mastery. The ability to say no without guilt. The ability to stay calm when tested. The ability to hold boundaries even when it costs you short-term comfort. When a woman meets that kind of man, she doesn't just see confidence, she feels grounded. She senses that his life has direction, purpose, and integrity. And that's what sets him apart from the crowd of men still seeking attention, still chasing, still proving. To become the standard means you're no longer reacting to life. You're defining it. You're not looking for the right woman to make you whole. You are whole, and that's why the right woman notices you. You are the calm in chaos, the control in confusion, the foundation she can't shake. So stop trying to meet the bar others set for you. Be the man who is the bar. Because when you embody that energy, when you live, move, and speak like a man of principle, you stop playing the game and become the prize everyone else plays for. That, my friend, is how you stop trying to impress women and start becoming unforgettable. At the end of the day, this video wasn't just about attraction, it was about transformation. We talked about shifting your mindset from chasing approval to embodying power, from trying to impress her, to becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to. The man whose calm commands attention, whose silence speaks louder than effort, and whose standards, not his words, define his worth. If you take one thing from this, let it be, this true masculinity isn't about what you do to win her. It's about who you become when you stop trying to prove yourself. That's when respect, desire, and connection happen naturally. If you're ready to master this energy and go deeper into the psychology of attraction, confidence, and masculine stoicism, become a channel member today. You'll get exclusive content, deeper breakdowns, and access to strategies that most men never learn. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because what's coming next will help you unlock the kind of power that doesn't just attract women, it changes the way you move through life. Thanks for watching, my friend, and I'll see you in the next one.